Good day and welcome to MathemaTalks. I am Castillo, one of your speakers for today.
Meet the cast. We are Mika Castillo, Angel Mann, Kat Molato, Alex Santos, and yours truly, Rentoria.
Okay, everyone? Once again, welcome to the very first episode of MathemaTalks. So for today, meron tayong onting icebreaker for you guys. So it's called Guess the Word. So presented on your screens right now is a cryptography guide that can help you decode the letters or numbers shown on your screens right now. So you'll be given 30 seconds to decode. So the timer starts now. Okay guys, so time's up. The correct answer or the word is Filipino. So comment guys if you got the word right.
Now, for our word of the day, we want you to decode this message to win a limited edition cookbook and a cash prize. So the first person to text the code to 7878 within 25 seconds will be the winner. So flashed on the screen is our cipher text. And timer starts now. And the answer is love. So love is the secret ingredient in every meal made. So congratulations to our winner and stay on the line to be connected to our representative. And that is it for this segment.
So first and foremost, let us talk about mga Filipino businesses. So marami dito sa Pilipinas ang nagbebenta ng mga handmade bags with distinct designs para ma-reflect ang kanilang mga culture. Iba naman nagpo-produce ng mga Filipino delicacies. So sa mga businesses na ito, how do they make the most efficient decisions and that they get profit at the same time? So for example na lang, mas marami sa market ang bumibili ng mga pastillas kaysa sa yema. Ang tanong, ilang pastillas yung ipoproduce nila and ilang yema or yung combination of both to get the most profit? So for efficiency, let us have yours truly to explain the rest.
We have borrowing. One of the issues that our country is facing right now is the prices are getting higher. However, wages are not being increased. Laborers have no choice but to resort to loan or borrow money in banks in order to sustain their resources. Lending institutions settle interest as they lend the money that should have been utilized for their own benefit. It is important for everyone to be financially literate in order to know if they can afford the principal amount plus the interests incurred. With financial literacy, borrowers can have better decision making on where to loan and which bank has the least interest. In real life, an example of this is multipurpose loan of Pag-ibig Fund. Pag-ibig is basically government organization where they can fund Filipinos home funds or anything that needed some huge amount of money for Filipinos to be able to pay for these purchases. An example of this is parents loaning money in order to pay for college tuitions or needing capital for business.
So tulad ng binanggit kanina, paano nga ba natin ma-achieve ang pagkakaroon ng mga efficient decisions at para na rin kumita or magkaroon ng profit? So sa efficiency, meron tayong tinatawag na linear programming. So linear programming ay ginagamit para makahanap ng mga optimal solutions. So it can help us figure out what we can do para paliitin ang mga cost, ma-maximize ang kita or ang profit, at para ma-maximize ang storage capacity. So, dito sa Pilipinas, pwede natin ito magagamit sa different businesses para magkaroon ng optimal decisions. So, under sa linear programming, meron tayong tinatawag na mga decision variables, objective function, at constraints. So, under sa decision variables, yun yung mga variables na nagre-represent ng mga quantities, tulad na lamang ng mga products sa business. Pwede yun maging decision variable. Tapos, meron din tayong tinatawag na objective function na kung saan isa siyang mathematical expression na nagko-combine ng variables para malaman natin kung ano yung dapat nating ma-achieve. And of course, meron din tayong mga limitasyon sa business, katulad na lamang sa supply, sa pag-produce, o kaya yung budget. But, meron pa rin tayong goal para ma-maximize yung profit at para ma-minimize yung cost. So, magkakaroon tayo ng mga constraints para ma-maximize pa rin natin yung profit under sa na-set na mga perimeters ng mga constraint na iyon. So, para sa viewers natin, magkakaroon tayo ng example about sa linear programming para maging efficient ang ating decision making. So, sabi dito sa screen, a box of yema has a selling price of 150 pesos and it costs 120 pesos to make them. 70 to 100 boxes of yema can be made per week. On the other hand, a box of pastillas sells for 210 pesos while it costs 150 pesos to make them. So, 80 to 120 boxes of pastillas can be made per week. The business can make not more than 150 boxes of the delicacies together. So, ang tanong, how do we maximize the profit? Okay, so para ma-solve natin tong problem na to, unang-una sa lahat, i-identify natin yung mga decision variables, constraints, at isunod natin yung objective function natin. So, meron tayong x and y variables. Yung x variable ay ang boxes of yema, yung y variable naman ay ang boxes of pastillas. So, sa business, meron tayong mga sumusunod na constraints. Meron tayong 70 is less than or equal to x, and x is less than or equal to 100. And we have 80 is less than or equal to y, while y is less than or equal to 120. Meron din tayong x plus y is less than or equal to 150, at meron naman tayong non-negative na constraints tulad na lamang ng x is greater than or equal to 0, at ganun din sa y. Y is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so tumungo naman na tayo sa paghahanap ng ating objective function. So, ano nga ba ang objective natin sa problem na ito? Ay i-maximize ang profit. So, bale, ang magiging profit ng every box of yema ay 30 pesos. Doon naman sa box of pastillas is 60 pesos. So, paano nga ba natin nakuha yung profit nito? So, ang ginawa natin ay binawasan natin yung selling price sa cost ng paggawa nito. Bale, sa boxes of yema, 150 minus 120, kaya ito naging 30. Sa pastillas naman, 210 minus 150, kaya ito naging 60. At ang form ng ating objective function would be p of x, y is equal to 30x plus 60y. Okay, so ang next step naman is pipili tayo ng constraint para malaman natin ang boundary lines ng problem na ito. So sa business na ito, pwede nating piliin ang x plus y is less than or equal to 150. At ito ay gagawin natin x plus y is equal to 150. So pipili ka ng mga numbers na mag-a-add up sa 150 at yun ay pwede nating i-plot sa graph. Okay, so ngayon naman ay ipaplot na natin ang mga natitirang constraints sa ating graph para makita natin ang feasible region. So, ang feasible region ay nagko-contain ng lahat ng feasible solutions sa problem natin. Ibig sabihin, yun yung mga sagot na applicable sa problem na to, na kung saan nasa-satisfy niya ang bawat constraint. So, ibig sabihin nito ay magkakaroon tayo ng profit, pero sumusunod pa rin tayo sa constraints na naset dun sa problem. Ayan, so ngayong nakuha na natin ang feasible region ng ating graph, ay observe at iti-take note na natin ang mga coordinates na ito at gagamitin na natin siya sa ating table. So, meron tayong nahanap na 4 na points, A, B, C, D. At gagamitin na rin natin ang objective function. Kung napapansin nyo, ang objective function natin ay may x and y. Ang x and y variables na yun ay papalitan ng values sa ating coordinates para makita natin kung anong values ang nag-yield ng maximum profit. At para na din natin malaman kung ano nga ba ang pinaka-efficient na decision sa business na ito. So, ang pinakamataas na value na nakuha natin ay 6,900 pesos. So, ibig sabihin, the business should sell 70 boxes of yema and 80 boxes of pastillas to maximize profit. So, yun ay ang coordinates ng 70 at 80.
Let's have a short commercial break. Speaking of Filipino businesses, let's talk about Inigo Elizalde Rugs. Inigo Elizalde is a Filipino based in New York City. He owns and designs rugs, which is the company Inigo Elizalde Rugs, which most designs are inspired by Filipino culture, especially his hometown of Manila. In fact, in one of his collections, each design is named after a jeepney route stop along in Manila. As we can see here, his design features symmetry and pattern, which is a topic that we will discuss later. With this, don't forget to check out his website and support Filipino art.
Okay everyone, so that's about it with our talk about Filipino businesses and linear programming. Once again, I am your speaker, Mika Castillo, and now, let us proceed sa other parts ng ating MathemaTalks.
Have you ever wondered how math is involved in commuting? So when we think of math, we usually think of numbers and computations, but it can also be applied in our daily lives, like for example, commuting. So today, I'm going to show you how to use the shortest path or Dijkstra's algorithm. For example, if you're wondering which path to take when driving from SM North to DLSU, I'm going to use the problem in the context of driving since unfortunately, transportation here in the Philippines can be quite tricky. Diba? Yung mga sakayan, kasi diba minsan yung ruta nila, iniiba nila bigla or iba yung binababaan ng mga jeep. So now, I'm going to show you the shortest path kapag nag-commute ka from SM North to DLSU. Now, if you go to Google Maps and you search the directions from SM North to DLSU, you will see 2 paths. Ngayon, gagamitin natin yung shortest path para malaman natin kung alin ba yung mas mabilis o mas effective sa dalawa. As you can see, medyo maliit lang yung numbers. So, saan ko ba nakuha tong numbers? Actually, minove ko lang yan ng 2 to 3 decimal places. For example, sa point A to point B is 2.2 lang. In reality, 2.2 stands for 220 meters. Sa iba namang mas malaking numbers gaya ng 51, that is actually 5,100 meters or 5.1 kilometers talaga yan. Now, to understand this map, pinakita ko muna yung mismong routes. Yung colors na red represents the first route, while the color blue represents the second route. Now, let's start. Obviously, same path lang naman ang dinaanan sa both routes, kaya same values lang sila. Except, pagdating sa point F at point G, dahil magkaiba na sila ng dadaanan. Yung isang route, 99 or 9.9 kilometers para makarating sa point H or Quirino Avenue. Yung isa naman, 129 yung value or 12.9 kilometers para makarating sa point H. Ngayon, syempre, mas mababa yung 99, so yun yung ibabox natin. At kung itutuloy-tuloy lang ang process ng pagbabox ng smaller values, sunod na nating ibabox yung 25 at syempre number. So, ang shortest path na dadaanan ay ang first route. But then, of course, this is hypothetically speaking kung walang traffic. This knowledge is still considered valuable naman kahit na di siya totally ma-apply sa lahat ng situations natin given that unpredictable yung traffic, especially here in the Philippines. But in rural places or in other countries na let's say hindi masyado ma-traffic, pwede magamit tong information na to. Pwede pa rin magamit ang shortest path if you have a geographical map, or kahit meron ka lang idea kung gaano kalayo yung distance ng isang lugar from another. So today, we are going to talk about investing. Okay, I admit, broke talaga ako kasi wala naman akong stable source of income. But one thing that I do to save money is having a savings account. Now, not a lot of people actually are, especially those who are my age, are familiar with saving using savings account, which is why I'm going to explain it in this video. Now, this isn't sponsored, but ito talaga yung ginagamit ko. I use GoTime, which is medyo bago-bagong bank pa lang ngayon. And in GoTime, there is 4% interest per year as long as you save it to your GoSave account. And what I like about it is that there's no minimum or maximum deposit balance requirement to earn interest. So this is the formula. End of day balance times 4% times 1 over 365 days. So currently, I have 250 pesos in my bank account. If I use this formula, magkakaroon ako ng 0.027 lang na interest. Or in 1 year or in 365 days, this could be 10 pesos. Now, very small difference na talaga yung amount na to. But if I have bigger money, like let's say 25,000 pesos, it could be 1,000 pesos in a year. And let's say bigla akong yumaman, nagkaroon ako ng 250,000 pesos, and I decided to keep it in my accounts, it could be an additional 10,000 pesos in a year. Now, in other banks, iba-iba sila ng interest rate. Like for example, sa GCash, medyo mataas sila, 8% interest rate. However, in some other banks naman, meron silang withholding tax. So, with this knowledge, kahit na maliit lang yung profit na nadagdag sa akin, kahit 10 pesos lang yan, it is still valuable kasi syempre money naman yan. And this is still valuable information as it could be used in investing larger money. And also, dahil aware ka naman na pwede ka pala makasave up sa savings account mo, pwede ka makapili ng bank na sunod yung standards mo sa pag-save.
So now naman, let's talk about cryptography. So what is cryptography nga ba? Cryptography is the area of constructing crypto systems. Ito yung nag-involve sa pag-create and analyze ng protocols that prevent third parties or the public from reading yung mga private messages na gusto nating isend. Crypto system naman is a system which converts plain text to ciphertext or ciphertext to plain text. Ito yung process na nag-ensure na even if intercepted or it's exposed sa public, the message remains incomprehensible to anyone kasi wala silang proper decryption key. Later, we will tackle more kung ano nga ba yung proper decryption key. One example ng cryptography is called, na makikita niyo sa screen niyo, is called the Caesar cipher. This is a straightforward encryption technique na nag-introduce ay si Julius Caesar, who reportedly used it to his military communication. Para siyang substitution cipher where each letter in the plain text is shifted with a fixed number of positions down or up the alphabet. In the example given sa slide, the shift is 3 positions to the right. So when we apply this encryption to the message, like Animo Lasal, each letter is shifted 3 positions forward in the alphabet. Kumbaga, A becomes D, B becomes E, C becomes F, D becomes G, and so on. The resulting ciphertext, which is DQLPROTVDOOH, appears as random letters kung sino man makakakita if they don't understand how Caesar's cipher works. And without having the decryption key or the shift value, no one can easily access decrypting the message. Ito naman ang tinatawag na crypto system. It is the process of converting a plain text to ciphertext is encryption. Thus, the process of converting ciphertext to plain text naman is called decryption. Yung figure naman below sa screen nyo, dyan, is illustrating the goal of crypto system. So, let's assume na the sender has a very important message to send sa receiver and she wants to encrypt the message para no party can read it, and she does this by using a secret key. Basically, a secret key can be any number na above 3. Moving on naman sa 4 objectives of cryptography. First, we have confidentiality, meaning that no third party can read the message, and na-achieve to through encryption techniques, like we talked about earlier, where the original message is converted into an unreadable format using cryptographic algorithms and keys. Thus, another crucial objective naman is integrity, meaning no third party can make changes in the message during transmission without detection, especially. Third of all is authenticity. Ito yung nagpro-provide ng assurance to both the sender and receiver regarding the identity of the message originator na allows the sender to sign the message with their private key, which can be verified by the recipient using the sender's public key, ensuring that the message is indeed from the claimed sender. Last is called irrevocability, which enables the receiver to prove that any third party that the sender sent the message. This is achieved through techniques such as non-repudiation, where cryptographic evidence such as digital signatures can be presented, such as a proof of message origin, preventing the sender from denying their involvement. So, it aims to establish authenticity nga. It provides na ito yung nag-assure na yung identity ng message originator. Here naman are some examples of cryptosystems. First, we have Pigpen Cipher, where pinakita siya sa word of the day earlier sa presentation, but I will be providing an example here in the slide. And it is where letters are replaced by symbols, so each letter corresponds to a specific symbol. Second naman is called the Caesar Cipher, where yung originator, here's his picture. His name is Julius Caesar. We change the order of the letter 3 places to the right. And then last is called Shift Cipher, where it operates with a key by shifting each letter or number places. Here's a slide naman na to. It is a chart which shows how cryptography can work. The letter is the plain text, and yung nasa baba naman is the number that we use for decrypting or encrypting the message. So, in order to solve this problem, step 1, we convert the letters in the plain text to numbers. So here we have our example na we used earlier, Animo Lasal, and there's the numbers na nag-represent sa kanya, which is 0, 13, 8, 12, 14, 11, 0, 18, 0, 11, 11, 4. And then we set up the table to encrypt and decrypt this. So first row is the plain text, yung word or yung message na we wanna send. And then second is the plain number na nagka-correspond sa plain text. So which we can see the A goes with 0 and then B goes with 1 and then so on. So, and then the third row is the key. So you can choose any number for your key. Yun yung key na gagamitan natin para i-encrypt or decrypt yan. So, we have 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. And then, we add the number corresponding to the letter to the keys. So, we get the cipher number, which is 0 plus 5 equals 5, 13 plus 5 equals 18, 8 plus 5 equals 13, 12 plus 5 equals 17, and then so on. So now if a number is greater than 26, we subtract that from 26. So we can see naman na sa example natin na wala siyang greater than 26. So now we get the cipher number, which is 5, 18, 13, 17, 19, 16, 5, 23, 5, 16, 16, 9. And then we write the letter corresponding to these numbers, and then that's the message na we give out. Now, sa last part naman, which is the decryption process. So, kumbaga, kunwari ikaw yung receiver na nasendan ng message na encrypted na, which is F, S, N, R, T, Q, F, X, F, Q, Q, J from our example earlier. So, that's the cipher text that you get. So, first, we write the cipher number corresponding to each of these letters. We use the chart from earlier. And then, you get the key number. The key number is very important para ma-decrypt mo siya to plain text so we can understand the message. And then, sa encryption, we add, diba? Sa decryption, we subtract. So, 5 minus 5 equals 0, and then 0 is A, so we get A. So 18 minus 5 is 13, and 13 corresponds to the letter N. And then 13 subtracted from 5 equals 8, and 8 is I. So, and so on, we get Animo Lasal.
Isometry is a type of transformation which preserve the shape and distance. Although you may feel that isometries and patterns are irrelevant today, if you look closely enough in our buildings and architectures, there are patterns and isometries that can be seen. An example of this is BGC. It shows that buildings have patterns and it is important to have it in to maximize the space given. Another example are parking spaces, wherein maximizing the space is the most critical factor in gaining profit as it serves as a way to park the automobiles. Patterns also create familiarity, especially with villages or subdivisions where most of the houses look the same. In a way, it creates a sense of belongingness of one in the community. Another example of patterns applied in real life are the pathways of shopping malls. These used facilities utilize patterns by incorporating the same pathways per floor so that there is predictability for the customers. That being said, customers can easily familiarize themselves on which store they want to go.
Think of fractals as the funky rebels of geometry. They are shapes that repeat themselves at different scales, meaning if you zoom in on a small piece, you will see a miniature version of the whole thing. It's like a never-ending pattern party, ganun. So imagine if you're walking through a forest and you come across a fern leaf. It's got all these smaller leaves sprouting from its stem. And if you look closely at any one of those smaller leaves, you will notice they also have even tinier leaves growing from them. And that's a classic example of fractal, nature's way of showing off its infinite complexity. One more example naman are snowflakes. Snowflake is unique, but they all share a similar hexagonal shape with intricate patterns branching out from the center. So, if you zoom dun sa snowflakes, parang makikita mo yung parang smaller versions ng snowflakes na same pattern sila lahat. So, ganun yung fractals. Coding theory is a branch of mathematics and computer science concerned with transmitting information accurately and efficiently over noisy channels. In more human terms, it's like creating secret codes that can withstand errors and disturbances so that when you send a message, even if it gets scrambled along the way, the receiver can still decode it correctly. Think of it like this. Imagine you're sending a letter through the postal service, but you know that sometimes the mail might get smudged, torn, or even parts of it might get lost. So, coding theory is like designing a special way of writing your letters so that even if some parts of it are damaged or missing, the receiver can still understand the message perfectly. One example of coding theory in everyday life is error correcting codes used in digital communication. And I'm sorry for the noise. When you send a text message kasi or make a phone call or transmit data over the internet, there's a chance that some bits of information might get corrupted due to interference or noise in the channel. Coding theory provides techniques to add redundancy to the message in such a way that the receiver can detect and correct errors, ensuring the integrity of the communication. So, another example of coding theory is QR codes. So, 'di ba, parang madami nang ginagamitan ng QR code sa panahon ngayon. So, yun. These are those square patterns you often see on products or advertisements that you can scan with your smartphone. Behind the scenes, QR codes use coding theory to encode the information they represent in a way that allows for error detection and correction. So even if the code gets a little distorted or damaged, your phone can still read it accurately.
The Fibonacci sequence is a sequence of numbers starting with 0 and 1 and is a steadily increasing series where each number is equal to the sum of the preceding two numbers. So basically parang pattern siya. And nakakatulong siya kasi humans have an ability to easily spot patterns, and with that, it can help in trading or where to invest. Usually kasi in our economy, maraming may pattern, lalo na sa trends, makikita natin kung alin yung uso or hindi. So with that, investors can easily see on which are the most viable businesses, kasi baka kasi yung iba naluluma lang, and yung iba kaya nila magstay up to date when ano yung trend ngayon.
Logic and reasoning are fundamental principles in philosophy, mathematics, and cognitive science that are used to make sense of the world, analyze arguments, and draw conclusions. So first, let's talk about deductive reasoning and inductive reasoning. So I'm gonna give one examples for each. And for deductive reasoning kasi, it involves drawing specific conclusions from general principles or premises. If the premises are true and the reasoning is valid, the conclusion must also be true. For example, all humans are mortal. Aristotle is human. Therefore, Aristotle is mortal. And for inductive reasoning naman, this involves making generalizations based on specific observations. It moves from particular instances to general conclusions. For example, every swan I have seen is white, so all swans are white. Inductive reasoning doesn't guarantee the truth of its conclusions, but rather suggests their probability. Okay guys, so dito naman na tayo sa rules of inferences. So ano nga ba yung purpose ng rules of inference? So para siyang nagsisilbing logical form or guide na nilalaman ng mga premises or hypotheses at nagdodraw siya ng conclusion. So parang nagde-derive tayo ng conclusion sa isang premise. So eto na yung mga iba't ibang rules of inferences. Meron tayong modus ponens, modus tollens, hypothetical syllogism, disjunctive syllogism, addition, simplification, and conjunction. So, ang nakikita nyo guys sa screen nyo ngayon ay ang definition ng modus ponens at modus tollens. Kasama na din doon ang example ng bawat isa. So, sa modus ponens, ang example dito, if one went to EDSA, then you get caught in traffic. So, one went to EDSA. Therefore, he got caught up in traffic. So, nagkakaroon ng implication. So, sa modus tollens naman, cities in NCR are part of Luzon. Cebu City is not part of Luzon. Therefore, Cebu City is not a city in NCR. Okay guys, so ang nakikita nyo naman sa mga screens nyo ngayon ay ang definition at example ng hypothetical syllogism at disjunctive syllogism. So, ang example natin para sa hypothetical syllogism, if the PNR train has closed, then the LRT will be filled with more people. If the LRT is filled with more people, then it will be a hassle for the commuters. Therefore, if the PNR train has closed, then it will be a hassle for the commuters. Habang sa disjunctive syllogism naman, either a commuter takes a jeep or the train. One did not take the jeep, therefore one took the train. Okay guys, so dumako naman na tayo sa huling tatlong rules of inference natin. Meron tayong addition, simplification, at conjunction. So, ibabasa ko naman sa inyo ang bawat example nila. At nakikita nyo sa screens ang definition din nila. So, Jollibee has delicious chicken joy. Therefore, Jollibee has delicious chicken joy or Mang Inasal has unlimited rice. Sa simplification naman, Intramuros is located in Manila and Vegan is located in Ilocos Sur. Therefore, Intramuros is located in Manila. So, sa conjunction naman, Dr. Jose Rizal wrote Noli Me Tangere. Francisco Balagtas wrote Florante at Laura. Therefore, Dr. Jose Rizal wrote Noli Me Tangere and Francisco Balagtas wrote Florante at Laura. Okay guys, so tapos na tayo sa rules of inference natin. Pero bago ko kayo pakawalan, meron tayong minigame para sa inyo. Ito ay tinatawag na Guess the Rule of Inference. So nakikita nyo sa inyong screens ay ang statement na huhulaan nyo kung anong rule of inference nga ba siya. So if it is raining in Manila, then one gets cold. If one gets cold, then one gets shivers. Therefore, if it is raining in Manila, then one gets shivers. Medyo familiar, no? So I'll be giving you 10 seconds to answer the statement. Okay, so I think time is up, guys. So the correct answer is hypothetical syllogism. And that's all for today's episode of MathemaTalks. Thank you all for watching!